All right, today we are diving deep into a world where honestly, the lines between what's real, what's a simulation, and what your purpose is have just completely vanished. We're going to explore some really powerful, kind of heavy existential ideas that you'll see ask some of the biggest questions about our own lives.
And we're kicking it off with this, wow, this really stark question. From a character named Archer 2, it just cuts right to the absolute core of what we're talking about today. I mean, if you're in a world where there's no clear goal, no reason for anything, what keeps you going? Let's dig into that.
So our first big theme is exactly that, this struggle to find a purpose. What does it even mean to have agency, to have free will, especially when the world all around you feels like it's already been scripted?
Okay, so to really get what these characters are going through, we first need to get a handle on this idea of determinism. Basically, it's the philosophical view that everything that happens, and I mean everything, including the choices you think you're making, is the unavoidable result of whatever came before it. There's no real freedom, just one long, unbroken chain of cause and effect.
Okay, let's break this down, because this is key. Over on the left, you've got what we all like to think we are, right? An agent with free will. We choose our path, we make our own purpose. But on the right, well, that's a non-playable character, an NPC from a video game. Their path is a script. Their purpose is handed to them. Their dialogue is limited. Now, just imagine for a second, what if you suddenly realized you were on the right side of this chart?
And that is exactly the horrifying realization Archer 2 comes to. He literally describes himself as a mouthpiece, totally aware that his actions, his words, they're not really his. He calls it a kind of narrative paralysis, and it makes him wonder, are we all just puppets who just haven't realized we're attached to strings yet? Okay, so let's build on that. If a single person's role is totally scripted, what does that say about the society that wrote that script? This next part is all about the rules of this world and how it feels like a man-made hell. The captain just lays it out there. The system they live in, it's not natural at all. He calls it an edifice, right? Something that was deliberately built by someone for some reason. These aren't the laws of nature we're talking about. They're completely artificial constructs. And here is where it gets really, really dark. You listen to the guard, and you realize this artificial society isn't just random. It is actively, profoundly cruel. He wasn't just allowed to be cruel. He was mandated, ordered to be. Cruelty isn't some bug in the system. It's the main feature. And worse, it was chosen. Collectively.
And then you hear from the victim, the person on the receiving end of it all, and it's even more chilling. The Kiwi doesn't even see it as a society. To him, it's just a conspiracy of psychopaths, a group that has made a conscious choice to destroy the powerless.
So let's piece this together for a second. What we're looking at is a world with totally arbitrary rules, designed for one singular, chilling purpose: cruelty. And this isn't some chaotic violence. It's a cruelty that is systematically chosen and enabled by the group. People just become cogs in this huge, oppressive machine, and some were even proud of that role, completely trapped in the system they're helping to create. All right, now let's zoom out. I mean way, way out, beyond this constructed social hell and into the cosmos itself. How does this malicious, man-made system stack up against the vast, impersonal universe? We're shifting gears from social cruelty to cosmic indifference.
And here, the astronaut gives us this just breathtakingly different view. For him, the laws of physics, what he calls the objective clockwork of the universe, are actually a relief. Yeah, a relief compared to the twisted, artificial, and hateful rules of society.
And this slide it puts the whole conflict right in front of you. On one side, you've got the guard's social law, targeted, hateful cruelty, for no reason other than hate itself. On the other side, you've got cosmic law, a quasar getting devoured by a black hole. One is a conscious, malevolent choice. The other, it just is. It doesn't care. It's just physics.
So what does it actually feel like to live inside that social machine in a world where suffering seems to be the whole point? We've been way out in the cosmos. Let's bring it all the way back down to the deeply personal experience of someone who is trapped inside.
This is the Kiwi's story, but it's not a straight line with a beginning, middle, and end. No, it's a loop, an eternal cycle. It starts with this beautiful, fleeting dream of freedom, of flying, then the fall, straight into hell, and then an immediate judgment for a crime he didn't even have time to commit. And from there, It's just darkness forever, as the hatred of the society just cycles on and on.
And you know, the Kiwi has this incredible way of describing the source of the suffering. He doesn't see it as a group of people. He sees it as a single monster, a creature in the corner of the room, a beast literally made out of collectivity. It's the physical form of that whole societal conspiracy just sitting there in the dark with you forever.
Which brings us all the way back to nothingness. The captain gives us this grim invitation. He says to look at his empty face, and in it, you'll see the void that's underneath everything in their world, the useless motivations, the pointless cruelty, that entire artificial edifice. At the end of the day, it's all built on a foundation of absolute emptiness.
And that leaves us with this one final, lingering thought. We've walked through this world of determinism, of constructed cruelty, of cosmic indifference, and yeah, it's a pretty bleak picture. But it throws the question right back at us, doesn't it? If the script is already written, and the universe doesn't care one way or another, what are you going to do with your page?